Welcome to this explainer. Okay, listen, we're going to jump right in today because what we're covering is going to completely change the way you work with data. We've all been there, right? Staring at that dreaded #NA error, or honestly worse, praying to the computing gods as your screen whites out and that terrifying Excel is not responding wheel of death just keeps spinning. It's incredibly frustrating. But today, I'm going to show you how to transform from an Excel beginner to an absolute data powerhouse, and we're going to do it in under 10 minutes. If you've ever felt bogged down by spreadsheets, complex formulas, or just mind-numbing repetitive tasks, get ready. We are bringing Claude AI directly into your Excel workflow.
But all right, before we get to the fun stuff, we got to address the elephant in the room. It's the #1 fear people have right now, especially if you're in accounting, admin, or really any data-heavy role. Is AI going to eat my job? And look, it's a totally natural anxiety when you hear about artificial intelligence knocking out massive, complex calculations in literal milliseconds.
So, what's the verdict? The short answer is absolutely not. AI is not here to replace you. It's going to make you incredibly smarter and vastly more efficient. I want you to think of it not as a replacement, but as an upgrade. It's literally a superpower. It's here to entirely eliminate the manual drudgery of your day-to-day work. By offloading all those robotic tasks, you're freeing up your brain to focus on the high-level insights, the strategy, the actual problem-solving. You know, the stuff that actually gets you noticed, appreciated, and promoted.
And we aren't just talking about basic arithmetic here. The sheer scale of what you're about to unlock is incredible. We're going to escalate from generating complex formulas with a single click to automating hundreds of personalized emails, cleaning up chaotic data dumps instantly, running auto-reconciliations that would usually take hours, and finally, generating stunning visual executive dashboards. It's a ladder of escalating superpowers. So let's get right into it.
Step 1. Setting up your new AI assistant.
I want you to frame this in your mind as literally hiring a brand new virtual analyst. And the absolute best part? The onboarding process for this assistant takes mere seconds. It is infinitely easier than trying to learn how to code VBA macros from scratch. Trust me. To get this assistant running, you just follow 4 really simple steps. You click the Developer tab up in Excel, and hey, if you don't see it, just right-click your ribbon and customize it to turn it on. Then open Add-ins, head over to the store, just like you would on your smartphone, and search for Claude by Anthropic. Hit Install, and boom, the whole shebang is done. Claude is now living right inside your spreadsheet, ready to get to work.
Moving on to step 2, automating those daily repetitive tasks.
We all know the soul-crushing pain of staring at a blinking cursor in an empty cell, right? Manually typing VLOOKUPs, fixing those inevitable syntax errors, and trying to remember exactly which table array you need to lock with $signs before you drag the formula down. It is exhausting, but instead of doing that, you can now simply select your master sheet and your empty table, open the Claude panel, and type a simple prompt. Something like, bring answers as per the master sheet, prepare formulas for that. Claude instantly reads the data, figures out what's missing, and populates the entire table with the perfect, correct formulas. No coding, no syntax errors, absolutely no stress.
Now let's take those repetitive tasks to the next level, bulk emailing. Imagine looking at this data right here. We've got client names, the specific courses they're taking, and their fee statuses. Doing this manually means copying and pasting templates, swapping out names, and obsessively double-checking everything so you don't accidentally ask Deepak for money when he's already paid, while correctly asking Nikhil and Anuj to settle up their pending accounts. It takes forever, and honestly, it's incredibly prone to embarrassing human error.
Instead of all that, what if you just highlight that table and ask Claude to provide an email for every person? Just look at what it generates right in the very next column. It reads the rows and instantly drafts fully customized text. Dear Nikhil Gupta, our records indicate that your fee payment for the Power BI course is still pending. It perfectly tailors the course name, the client name, and the exact payment status for every single row. Just think about the time this saves compared to setting up some clunky mail merge or manually typing out 50 messages. Whether it's 10 rows or 10,000 rows, it's done in seconds.
All right, part 3, cleaning messy Excel data. So what happens when you receive an incredibly messy raw data dump? You know, the exact kind I'm talking about. An export from some legacy CRM or e-commerce platform that makes you want to pull your hair out because absolutely nothing is formatted correctly. Well, this is where your AI becomes Claude the data janitor. You just select the messy data and type clean the whole data. Claude automatically trims those weird and visible text spaces that ruin your formulas and are just the absolute bane of any data analyst's existence. It highlights blank rows with conditional formatting, and when you give it permission, it completely deletes those blanks so your data is contiguous. It'll even fix incorrect data types automatically. What used to be an hour of mindless clicking is resolved in literal seconds. Number 4, mastering complex financial analysis.
Okay, we're stepping it up now. We are moving from basic data cleaning to heavy-duty financial and HR workflows. This is where you truly start to look like an absolute wizard to your boss or your clients. If you're an accountant, month-end manual reconciliation used to mean hunting line by line between your book data and your bank statements. We all know the absolute agony of destroying your eyesight at 11 p.m. trying to find a missing $2.50 variance. Well, not anymore. Now you just hold Shift, select both sheets, and ask Claude to prepare a reconciliation statement of these two sheets. Claude compares them, highlights the variances, flags the unmatched entries, and gives you a beautifully clean summary of the net differences.
And you know, it works just as flawlessly for payroll. You give Claude a raw sheet of employees with their basic pay, their bonuses, and their deductions. First off, it instantly runs the net salary math for every single row. But then you prompt it to generate a department-wise payroll summary, and it instantly creates this beautiful, clean summary. It groups everyone by IT, sales, and accounts, calculating total headcounts, total bonuses, average salaries, and the exact cost share each department represents to the company.
Finally, Section 5, generating instant visual dashboards.
This is our grand finale right here, taking raw, uninspiring data and turning it into executive-level business intelligence. You can ask Claude to analyze a monthly expense report, and it doesn't just give you a boring table. It generates the visual insights. It instantly creates a crystal-clear donut chart showing your expense breakdown. You can immediately see the core insight without digging through rows and rows of numbers. Travel is eating up a massive 37.1% of the budget. It spots the highest expenditure category for you automatically.
And it doesn't stop there. It actually performs incredibly complex budget versus actuals analysis. When prompted, Claude will explicitly spell out the narrative of your data. It instantly identifies that IT and admin are heavily bleeding money and going over budget, while sales and marketing are actually saving money. It'll even flag accounts as having the most underrated budget. It is doing all that deep analytical thinking for you, basically serving up the exact talking points you need for your next management meeting.
You can literally point Claude a massive, raw e-commerce sales dump and just say, prepare a complete dashboard with explanatory notes. It will go in, generate pivot tables, format them, create multiple visual charts, and write out an executive summary covering revenue concentration and product health. It will even analyze average order value opportunities, pointing out exactly which customer segments are buying higher-priced bundles versus single items, which lets your marketing team target their ad spend way better. It's essentially doing the work of a seasoned data scientist delivering a complete, perfectly formatted dashboard right there in your spreadsheet.
Which brings us to our final thought. We've just seen how Claude AI transforms Excel from a tedious, manual grid into this incredibly intelligent assistant that handles formulas, emails, cleaning, reconciliations, and executive dashboards all in a matter of minutes. So I want to leave you with this question. If AI can do hours of your most tedious manual work in literal seconds, what incredible things are you going to achieve with all your newly saved time? Seriously, think about it. Use this explainer as your launchpad, get in there and start experimenting. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.